6:31. Should we get started?
Sure.
All right.
I did not read these.
Ready when you are. That's okay. Well,
Did anyone else?
I did.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry?
I didn't read these yet.
I went through a little bit,
was not accessing them very well from my various devices.
All right. Well, we'll get there. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll call the meeting to order. Our spring edition, FinCom,
Good.
March 20th, 2019, for those watching a recording or something of that matter. Okay, so we've got on the agenda minutes, which Catherine and Patty had sent out to us for two meetings, February 6th and the 11th. So the first one we were at Bucher. I think maybe that's the second one. Second one we're at Bucher. Nope.
No, I think the first one we were at Bucher.
First one was at Bucher. We were talking about above-level services for the town. And then second one, we're here with our colleagues from Hamilton, Hamilton FinCom, Town Manager, Finance Director, and heard from the joint programs, pool, pond, library, and rec, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I did have just one minor change to the first one, and that is, and if depending upon how far you get through them, I figured if I'm not stalling, but like
I'm here. Yeah.
I'll stall a little bit, and that is just got to get situated. I was reading it on the train, on the phone. Okay. So it's for the February 6th meeting, and on the second page, for, I guess, the paragraph that starts with increasing pressure on the budget, maybe it's the next paragraph, some ideas to discuss in the joint meeting. The sentence reads, with the BOS or notice a possible standalone article for those two items identified as over-level services in the HWRSD budget, being a SRO and OPEB. This would carve out additional capacity in the budget with stabilization fund for the increased cost. So I guess I guess I just wanted to maybe make a minor change to that. So it's not that standalone articles wouldn't, maybe now that I read it's okay, would carve out additional capacity. I guess I don't think we got as far as stating whether or not how we would carve out capacity in the budget. So I was just going to kind of strike that first part.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The stabilization fund is separate.
Exactly. And just say this would carve out additional capacity in the budget, and just say a special stabilization fund was also discussed.
Yep.
Great. Thank you. That's glad you saw that as well, because they were not totally interrelated. And then other than that, I didn't have any changes to the joint meeting with Hamilton. Any other questions or comments or concerns?
No.
No, I'm sure.
What about that one? Do you want to defer one?
Yes. Well, I mean, you guys can vote on it, and can I just amend comments later? I mean, I can stay here at the end of the meeting and read it. Is that just so I'm not holding up?
Yeah, we could.
I'm sorry, what?
You're not amending, you're editing.
If we vote to adopt them and then you have a substantive change, that
Oh, you have to
then we
reopen
would,
it?
yeah.
That would be amending it. If you have a content, if you want to edit the contents, then you should wait. But you're getting close to open meeting law.
For timing, yeah, for number of meetings anyway, right?
What
Yeah.
technically did we do with that sentence
do you have a quorum
few minutes
without
ago?
me?
Is that an
Yes.
amendment or is that a change?
It's an amendment.
Okay.
We do.
Well, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just vote without me. If you read it and found there's nothing,
Okay.
I
Substantive
feel
to
there's
change,
nothing controversial or
then I think that's
problematic in
fine.
them. I mean, they seem spot on with that discussion we had, and
Patty found anything either other.
No, the other stuff was just more just clarification of things, yep.
yes, so I will not vote on this.
Okay, but you did go through the first one, so
Yes.
I'll move that FinCom accept the meeting minutes for the February 6th meeting at the Bucher School.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. And so that's just as provided with the additional kind of comment to separate the special stabilization fund as the discussion there, which Catherine will reflect. Other than that, as submitted in the packets. All right. Any other? Seconded, yeah. Any other questions, or we'll go to a vote then? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Which leaves the February 11th minutes, and, oh, did you plan on voting in that first one? To accept those?
Yeah, I
Is it-
probably should have, yes.
Okay. I
But
think-
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it-
I think you still can, as in favor?
Yes, favor. In
And
favor.
opposed, none? Okay. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
We haven't moved on to anything else? Great. Which we'll do now, though, for the February 11th. So I had no changes, so I move that FinCom accept the minutes as provided for the joint meeting on February 11th, 2019, with the Hamilton FinCom, Town Administrator and Finance Director as well.
Second.
Thanks, Mike. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Is that the one you're abstaining?
I'm abstaining from it.
And Karen's abstaining.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks. Okay, gets us through minutes, sort of. And now we're talking about snow and ice. Overspend happens.
Every year, it's just a.
Expected to happen.
It's expected to happen, it's planned to happen in a lot of ways.
It's the only department where it
It's
can
the only
happen.
part that it can happen, and it can happen early in the year, so we just need authorization to overspend that account as we process.
Right.
invoices for the end of the winter.
And was there paperwork for that?
There really wasn't.
There wasn't?
No, it was just,
Okay.
yep, nope.
So administratively, I forget, how does that happen? Are we voting on that?
Yeah, just make a motion to
authorize the-
authorize the overspend of the snow and ice account for fiscal.
Okay, there's no dollar amount that goes along with
No,
it?
nope.
Because we don't know
We
yet.
don't know.
So what are we at now? What's the balance in the,
Oh, gosh, I should know. We're not overspent yet, but we haven't
Okay.
finished processing everything.
gotcha.
And because we don't meet very often, we just wanted the authorization to do so.
Right, so it doesn't grind to a
Correct.
halt?
Correct.
Okay, so there's some money left in snow and ice?
Yep.
But we're still, are we buying salt and sand, or
I
they've got
believe
all
so.
that,
I
but
think-
we could have another little something this weekend or whatever, and the next thing you know, you gotta pay
Right.
trucks to come in. and
It's
that's-
really just
okay.
so we can process any bills that come in, whether or not we even overspend it. I'm not sure if we're gonna even overspend it, but we just need that authorization, so if we do, we can do that before
Okay.
making sure we have the right procedures and the right approval to do so.
All right, I'll establish a motion, and then we can chat more if need be, but I move the FinCom authorize the Snow and Ice Department overspend if needed, which is just good for the remainder of the fiscal year. Is that how it goes?
Yep.
Okay, for the remainder of FY19 budget.
Second the motion.
Thanks, Carrie. Any other questions on that?
Nope.
Okay, it's really a formality.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly.
Great, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Snow and ice, hopefully we won't need to spend too much more, because I'm sick of winter. And then RFTs are up next, so there are two, correct?
There's two.
Legal and assessment. I've gone through these, it seems pretty straightforward. Do you want to give us a high level on
Yeah.
either one first?
The legal one, obviously, is the first one. We're looking right now for $40,000 to get us through probably till May, because starting in May, we have that time period when we can do transfers, or we can overspend accounts. So this should get us through till May. But because of some of the ongoing litigation that's been going on through the town, we certainly are not going to be able to keep this within budget through or up until May.
Is it one litigation or multiple?
There's if you look at the schedule, there's a schedule behind it, all the
I'm
different
sorry.
cases and items that are due, actually Peter did this, he did a great job of putting all the different
Oh, wow.
things that are going on and what the costs have been historically and what
Yep.
the ones that are that we are looking as we're moving down the road here.
So KP Law bills us monthly, right?
Correct.
And then there are a couple other
Yep.
firms. And then, but it looks like we haven't been getting anything from them recently, right?
Not
That was
too
maybe
much,
for
no.
other work. So, so we gotta get through April,
Going to get through April.
so there's So we got, the last invoice from KP Law was roughly 10,700. That was January. So we need 3 more
Yep.
months, or we have 3 more months we gotta get through. And how much do we have in the, well, it's not even that we, oh, we do budget, of course, this is, yeah.
We do a budget for it,
Yeah.
we still do have money for it, but we won't have enough, we have about $11,000.
Oh,
left
sorry,
in
I
there.
missed that, yep.
So
Oh,
we won't
yeah.
have enough to cover the invoices up through April.
Right, because we're paying roughly, 10,000, not every month, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the lowest being in September, 4,300, but then it's been 10,000 plus handily every month.
So, on this spreadsheet, it says FY19 balance negative 28, call it, 27.9. And you're going up to 40, is that to cover these other months?
Yes, yes.
And are there any cases or issues that aren't on this spreadsheet that expect to come up?
Not that I'm aware of.
Expenses
Nope, not that
in
I'm aware of.
February, March, April?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
That have happened in the past month or two that are going to be legal bills?
Well, the ones that have happened in the past month or two would be under the February estimated invoice for the $12,000. There's an estimated there, we just don't have the breakout yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so that, I meant to ask about that, so that's like a placeholder?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was my question. So is it just coincidental that the 12,300 and the 27.9 work out to roughly 40 grand? Because we're in the whole 27, and February 19th has 12.
But we're in the whole 28, including that 12.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
all rolled
okay.
up on the right.
So if we go to
column.
40, that'll give us another,
Month, maybe.
yeah, or hopefully, we gotta get through a couple.
Yeah. Is that enough? If we're averaging 10, we're averaging over 10
If it
grand for
isn't,
last
we
year.
can overrun it in May and then do a year-end transfer
Okay.
at the, in between the departments,
Got
which
it,
is
okay.
what I'm hoping.
But I think that, sorry, Mike.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that says it all, right? We budget 55,000. We're already hit with 83,000 in legal bills. I mean, I think this is a particularly
It's
bad.
been an
bad
extraordinary year, yeah, there's
for
no
legal.
question, it's been an
Yeah.
extraordinary year.
Right, right.
Could you remind me of what the Gallagher versus ZBA issue is?
I have no idea.
That's 2021.
I don't know what that is.
The money's coming out of free cash then, right?
Money's come out of the reserve fund.
Reserve.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, right, usually those are, right, permits, not allowed to build, would like to build, zoning laws won't allow, so it's usually appeals or suing the town for, like, additions or.
Yeah, it's just so high.
It could be a developer, I can
Yeah.
find out, though.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, it stands out. Yeah, and planning board, yeah. All kinds of suits going on down at Bowman, you know. Everyone's suing us apparently, or maybe we're suing them, but I doubt it. Okay, so I move that FinCom approve a reserve fund transfer in the amount of $40,000 to be transferred to legal expenses with a balance in set appropriation of $11,477.77.
A second?
Thanks, David. Any other questions on getting money to the legal expenses line?
Yes.
Sure.
Is there, and maybe we need to do a little more research on this. I would assume, obviously, there are attempts to resolve issues before they get to this point. And this process is here to be used when needed. But does anyone know if there's any mediation involved before it gets to formal litigation to try to
Normal work through the
prevent
courts.
$100,000 of town funds going to this?
Not a lawyer, but dealing with lawsuits for work. Usually there is, before it goes to trial, there's always for mediation.
Mhm.
Sometimes in zoning laws or zoning cases, you do need a decision by the court, and there's no mediation. Again, general statement, if anyone wants to critique, it's bad, but if you want to build, say, something here in your yard,
A McDonald's.
a McDonald's, I would put a, Starbucks drive-through, right? And I want it, and the town doesn't.
Right.
It's usually black or white, so mediation doesn't work in that case. Usually it happens between, definitely not criminal, but usually civil cases, you can get mediation. A good example would be, I'm forgetting the name, but the project, not Wenham Pines, the other
Yeah,
one.
Maplewood.
Maplewood,
Yeah.
that one down there was mediation where,
Yeah,
that we're contributing to the town, and the town is contributing into the settlement.
yeah.
So it really, long answer is depends, but it is part of the process, but.
Yeah, and I guess some of these could be legal fees for non-litigated matters like mediation.
But we can't dictate, it's really plaintiffs
Mm.
who dictate whether the mediation happens or not, sometimes. So please, no legal lawyer, or lawyers call me saying how wrong I am, but it's just a general,
Yeah.
it's a general comment.
Yeah, I don't have, I'm sure this covers a really wide range of policy-related, matters that drove it to the courts, basically, or to involve attorneys, even if it didn't go to court.
Yeah, a lot of it probably isn't even the court, it's just general items,
It
a
is.
procedural question, a question on, I don't use them that much, but sometimes I have to call and ask about, a financial thing if I can or cannot do it, and, it could just be day-to-day stuff that we just need some legal opinion on.
Yep.
Great point. Yeah, that's what town council's there for,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they do a great service to the
Yeah,
town,
and they do quite a
hopefully-
bit too when we're doing warrant articles and writing the warrant articles and the
Absolutely,
wording
yeah,
and all
yeah.
that, so.
Yeah, they afford a lot of protection
Mhm.
over larger amounts. With that said, obviously, we don't want to be spending as much on it if at all possible. It's, especially where we're as lean as we are in the budget, to have an extra, to be 30,000 under, with several months to go. And we will have, this I think is really helpful to review,
Mhm.
if we can keep this going.
Sure.
You said Peter put together, but if just to get a general sense for,
What we're seeing?
what we're seeing, yeah, where the legal expenses are, what the drivers of those expenses are. And it's nice to see them drop off as well. Okay. Any other questions on legal fees?
I don't know.
Okay, if none, then we'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And the next is the fire.
The fire, yep.
Yep. Do you want 400 or just 4 for number present and voting?
Put 400, yeah.
4.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pardon me. Just get the motion out of the way. So I move that FinCom authorize the reserve fund transfer in the amount of $5,250 to fire expenses, with a present balance of $54,684.14.
I'll second.
Thanks, David. Okay, so this is for, it looks like this, kind of the second part to MRI?
Yep, it looks like they're doing a second, per the contract, a second assessment center,
Yep.
which I believe they're going to do in May, and this would be the cost to cover that.
Okay.
But he's already done it once, so they're adding to the following.
Yeah, is it the same thing again, or is it that when I read this, it seemed like there was a recruitment charge, right? To authorize to pay MRI to basically help us in recruiting the fire chief, and then,
I think it's the second one.
and then it's.
Yeah, there was last year's assessment center.
Right,
Was
there
on
wa-
board for a while and
Yep.
do a second assessment center.
Right,
Page
okay.
3, right?
So is that
Yeah.
under the optional services?
That's the way I read it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's the second optional service?
Yeah, the professional development.
Got it, okay.
Okay.
Yep. I had never heard the term assessment center before. Anyone
Can't
else?
say I have.
No,
Okay,
I do,
yeah, and the way it's kind of bandied about here, it makes it seem like I really should have.
It's a term of art, yeah.
Yeah, right. But it was pretty clear what was involved, and that's part of the contractual arrangement.
Yeah.
And,
Huh.
and so $5,250 an hour. Are there additional costs expected to MRI for this?
No,
I don't think so. This
nope.
should be the,
Yep.
this should wrap it up, right? Okay. That makes sense to me. I don't know if others have
Nope.
concerns or questions.
No, I think it's,
Pretty
don't-
straightforward.
I kind of want to do some assessment centers on myself.
We're not paying
Get
for
some
it.
perspective.
Self-assessment centers.
Yeah.
All right.
That would be a great app.
I guess then we will move to a vote. If that's all right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Interesting.
I will check the date again, 3/20. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you.
Moving right on through the agenda. Any other pertinent items? No, only other matters that people might want to bring up for discussion?
Okay.
We're next up for the warrant hearing, right? Is
Yes.
that right?
Was
Okay.
that, is it the first?
That's the first, yeah. The first at 6:30 at Bucher, I believe.
Yep.
6:30, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's all right?
No, it's an April Fool's Day.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. What better
We got
day?
one on April?
So we have,
It's Monday, I think.
that's Monday for our warrant hearing,
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
which if you can make it would be great. I mean, I don't think it's super critical that we have, we're not, we're there to
7 p.m.
help the public that
No.
shows up
I just put
in
that as a
person and later
placeholder. I know what the
watches,
time is.
right?
Like last time.
Understand like last time, with the exception of
I have a good enough
the,
placeholder.
same deal, but we had the budget forum beforehand, which was a bit of a dry run / delving into the budget even, or with the expectation that we would delve into it even more so with
Are you
questions.
briefing again? In terms of
Yes,
warrant?
yes,
Good.
yep,
Good, good.
providing presentation and hoping to have you all chime in as well. Again, to educate and inform
Yep.
residents and the voters what they're up against at town meeting in terms of all the articles, all the financial articles anyway, which we know, which we've discussed in some detail, so.
The warrant hearing is
Yes.
at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, thank you,
7.
Catherine. Okay, good, good.
Would you say Bessie Bucher?
Yes,
Okay.
it's in the cafetorium there, right, in the multi-purpose room, it's not in the.
Read the calendar.
Winthrop, right, is that
And
Winthrop?
are we having anyone attend to speak on any of the warrant articles at the warrant hearing?
Other
In addition
than,
to us?
so, that's a good point.
Maybe CPA,
Yeah,
CPC.
right, I know, I see.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
CPC, Andrew DeFranza?
DeFranza
Is
from
that right?
HCP?
From Harbor Light will be
Okay.
there as well, I believe. He's been invited, per, CPC's suggestion, and Peter's already having thought and done the same to reach out to Andrew, so that as it relates to Harbor Light, which is obviously a really complicated and involved process thus far, he clearly knows what's going on there and will be able to respond to questions, and tell that story. Patty, you'll be there?
Mhm.
Peter will be there?
Mhm.
Okay, great. And then as for other departments, I don't expect other departments to be
Yeah, and that's what I was
representing.
thinking of, was
Yeah.
the CPC stuff,
Yeah,
Maple Woods.
yes, that in particular, right. And that reminds me also, we reached out to the school committee last year, just as a reminder that they, that at least the chair or anyone who might also want to be there to discuss to respond to questions specific to the school committee
Mhm.
budget, they should absolutely attend as well if they want to.
Mhm.
I'm not required to, but by all means, better place to speak to their budget,
Mhm.
since it's theirs that they own. So I'll make sure that is extended. I'll reach out to the school committee this evening, just remind them of the date and time, which I'm sure they know, but
Yeah.
it'd be good to have them there. I think last year we had maybe, do you recall? I want to say 2 or 3 members.
Two, I think.
Two, yeah, at least 2 anyway, yeah, so.
Because it was here.
That might have been the budget
The
forum.
budget forum, we had a couple people
Yeah.
from the school committee, and I honestly don't
Right.
remember the warrant hearing.
I don't
Who
either.
attended.
I don't either. It was a blur,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
maybe
it's a
I'm
totally
confused.
different format. It's a very line item, section by section.
Yeah,
But we can add discussion and context.
That's correct.
To it.
Right,
If we want.
right,
But I
right.
think we had done that at the forum last year. And so the warrant hearing was a little more just, this many dollars for this department.
yes,
Any questions?
right. So hopefully we get good attendance
Yep.
and some interest and questions and, yeah, go from there. And then a week later, or less than a week later, it's the big show.
Yep.
It's that Saturday, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good times.
Something
Always
wrong.
is.
What's that?
We're done, right?
That's-
Something wrong.
Not unless we vote to do so. So I'm getting that sense, so maybe if there are no other topics,
Make a motion.
is there a motion
Strange.
to?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Great.